Okay, and we'll keep admitting people. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mike McKella, and then if need be, we can circle back before I get to next steps. So without further ado, is Mike here?
Dave, can you read me?
Yep, you are good to go, Mike. Thank you.
Let me, there we go, gallery view. Excuse me. I'm going to talk briefly about the two sections that I supervise. Many people ask about it or wondering about it. One of my new roles is supervising the Student Support Center located in Lower M of the high school. The Student Support Center was created to be the top tier of supports for students with mental health, anxiety, depression, prior history of hospitalization, social problems, lacking coping skills. We offer a fresh start, flexibility, different timeframes for them. Our first and every goal was to create and establish a relationship. Fortunate for me, I knew a lot of these students through my years in the district, so that was already in place. One of the supports we offer is academic support, social emotional support, and then we are working towards tools for the future. We house 2 full-time teachers and 3 mental health specialists, and myself, as I'm split between both nursing and here. Our day starts when the normal school day starts at the high school. We offer a full day schedule from 7:15 to about 2:06. We have abbreviated schedules from around 9 to 12, and then a 12 to 3 session for students depending on their needs. This team has created a process for referrals. So normally the mental health team or some other groups bring in a student, they refer the student based on information provided. The SSC team and myself meet, and based on criteria, we then work to enter the student into our program, whether that be some of them just need a place to start back. I will say some of the students that we are working with have not been in school for years. And we are seeing an increase of 30 to 82% in their attendance, which is amazing in the work that this team is doing. Some of it is credit recovery with the program Apex. Some is just the students using the mental health team as on a check-in basis. It is really tailored to the kid and the family for buy-in. It has to be parent approved. We do not just say you are in this program. Engagement is key. It is not a permanent placement. We are trying to get these students, and we have been successful. We started out around 25 to 30 students. We've already kind of moved 5 to 6 out, and they're back in and full time, and it's fantastic. And they check in time to time. We host various opportunities. Before Thanksgiving break, the team put together a Thanksgiving dinner for the students, and it was good to see them in that kind of mind state as family and supportive role.
Give me a call back when you get a 3-minute.
We actively do home visits. We've done accomplished over 26 home visits, over 45 family meetings. Again, there's a check-in basis with the mental health team. I do check-ins. We go to the homes. We meet the students where they're at and the families where they're at to support them in this process. We like to build up the students' stamina of getting back to school and slowly introduce them back to the teachers that they'll be working with. We've had many teachers come down and work with our students here. One of our full-time teachers in this program will go up and kind of take that teacher off supervision so they can come down here and work with them, which has been fantastic. So we're establishing ourselves in the building, and we're getting that buy-in from other teachers in this large facility. It's more progress over perfection. You know, we'll have setbacks, and students fall back to previous behavior or things that we're working on, and then kind of reestablish the goals. But it is going very well. And I thank everybody for the support that we're receiving here.
Mike, can we just take a second and see if there's questions? And I had one thought, but I don't want to take away from others. Are you able to kind of give us, like, I myself, I'm in the building, but I haven't been down there to see, like, last time I was down there, it was a counseling center. So maybe like just a little overview of what your setup is with regards to your team, and how it kind of looks.
So right now we have 3 rooms. The old guidance counselor room with the offices has turned into more of a kind of library style area for students to kind of just do their work on their own, opposed to all the miniature offices were turned into where this mental health team hold their sessions. So now we can also have parents come in and use the conference room in the back for when we're, kind of selling it to them as this is what will be great for them, both student and parent. Then we have the 2 classrooms where our 2 teachers sometimes split up students based on their needs and what they're working on. This allows for those check-ins throughout the day, not always interrupting the classrooms in the other end areas. Is this camera working pretty decently, Dave? Because I can do
you're
a full
fine.
walk around.
This is our first interactive presentation.
I know you didn't want to share, so I don't know how well that is and how slow I'm going.
We can see some doors, but that's quite a difference in the way it used to look. I can tell you that much. And, when we talk about partnerships, I have to say, our facilities department is amazing. I've sung their praises before when it comes to some projects that we've had in the physical education department. And this is another example of just the amazing work that they did. In one, like it started, I believe last spring, and they gutted some spaces and built this, and Mike and his team were able to get this program up and running and to help with our students. So it's really, it's very impressive that in the course of just a handful of months that it's up and running. Please feel free to unmute and ask questions if you have them. I know Mike's going to talk a little bit about nursing as well, and I didn't want to cut you off, Mike, if you were anything else to add to that. Anybody got any questions? All right, I guess we can move on to the nursing, Mike.
Nursing, in last year, we had many retirements, and then we had some people resign to go back to the hospital setting. So we were able to move to a new lead nurse and a new nurse scheduler who's doing a fantastic job, along with hiring 5 new nurses, and recently posted for our final nurse position. This will give the district 21 full-time nurses. We've been actually recruiting per diem nurses, which we will complete with 12 per diem nurses, 3 health office assistants. This is critical in our district. Years ago, we saw what COVID and things along the healthcare nature was doing. We were able to recruit and implement a team in place that could help with all of the fantastic things that this school district offers our students, along with every field trip. A nurse might have to go on. There's multiple health necessity that requires an RN. Right now, we are staffing 3 nurses at the high school. We are working to staff 3 nurses at the middle school, two nurses at Bout Hills. This is based off of medical need and the numbers in the building, along with Southgate also has 2 nurses. So as you can tell, when they get sick, they need replacements so that no building goes without a healthcare, individual that could help in any emergency situation, but the daily flow. And I'll say, looking at the data, where each building is seeing close to 65 students and adults walking through their door to receive care, or at least talk to our nurse to have an interaction on what's going on, which is a large number. I know at Blue Creek, I've seen numbers in the 80s. and hundreds at times, along with our high school and middle school. So having this number is very critical, and we're very fortunate in the recruitment and process that we've gone through, and the nurses that we have, our current senior nurses that have trained these new nurses on how we do things. I am working with them and our legal team to streamline our process and documentation and how things are going. So, because it is a big leap in what they've taken on and the things that they have to document and keep track of in our district.
And I can say from, firsthand experience, 25 or 6 years in the district, the other factor is, nurses, in addition to the number of people that walk through the door, get called out on a frequent basis when there's a crisis or a situation throughout the building that needs attention as well.
Correct. Well, I've been now being here at the high school full-time, Dave, we've had multiple situations where nurses have been in the back of the building, lower corner of the building, out in the parking lot. They are doing a great job covering the areas around the district, transporting students to and from school and their house. So it's a great undertaking in all the things that they're covering.
And by that, just to clarify, you're talking about like our medically fragile students in the special trans, correct?
Correct. Now, in all that, we're also we have created an update for our Narcan policy that we've put forward to the policy committee to now possibly place Narcan in every AED location, along with myself and Dave are working and the lead nurse are working on updating all of our AEDs as they're aging out, which is a process because, as you guys know, everything seems to be on back order, and we're looking to work through that process throughout the next couple months. Our school doctors are rotating through the district. They are completing physicals over the number of, at the high school, 150 physicals, at the high school, over 100 at the middle school. And they will rotate to every elementary school to make sure that every student receives a physical that is in need. One of our per diems that we've hired is also a senior student at Siena and speaks fluent Spanish. So we've pulled her on board and has been a great asset to us in rotating around with the doctor to assist our Spanish speaking students. So that has been a great hire, and she's been doing very well. So that is the update of the Nurses and Student Support Center. Anybody have any questions?
I'll just add, I know it's been a great partnership going back to COVID testing days with Siena, with their nursing program and getting those students in here to help us out and get them some on-the-job training. And that's fantastic what you just shared, they had a bilingual nurse that's helping out as well. So kudos to you and to our nursing staff on all the hard work and hours and time that you guys put in. It's truly remarkable. Okay, before we move along, anybody else have questions for Mike or anything in general? All right, I should have handed out virtual coffee today. Okay, so where we go from here, I'm sure you should have all received by now. I sent it out a couple times and we did get some decent responses to the questionnaire to kind of, we want this to not just be driven by, Lisa and Alex and I. We want it to be meaningful to you guys so that, you have a voice and things that are important to you and get excited about, you can have a say in and participation in. So that's where the survey comes in. As of Tuesday, when we met and went through it, we had about 20 responses. So we definitely want to hear from the other 30 plus people that are either in this room or going to watch this later. So, it's never too late to fill that out. We're going to go through and categorize what people's interests are, but I will send out an additional form where we ask people to select a subcommittee that, as I said, is of interest to them and that they might be passionate about. So some of the topics that we were looking at with regards to things that we know we have to take a look at with our updating of our school wellness policy are the topics or the headings of physical activity, such as student opportunities and staff opportunities, which were things that were definitely expressed in the questionnaire. Physical education, child nutrition education, wellness promotion and marketing. I remember there was a lot for social emotional well-being of our staff and our students. So, you know, as I said, give us a little time, but we will go through and create those subcategories, and then that'll give you guys an opportunity to get involved. You know, the food services part of things, we have members of our FACS. I see Nikki Blatnick on here, and I don't want to exclude anybody else who might be on here, but she's a member of our FACS team. She's presented in the past on food and nutritions and various courses that they teach in that department that are beneficial to our students. And we want to get, you know, a common theme is more representation from all levels. And it's tough because, you know, with the elementary schools getting out as we speak, getting everyone into the room, virtual room, is a challenge, and it's not lost on us. It's hard to find that happy medium between what, you know, getting people that are done earlier to participate versus people that are getting done later. You know, the technology does help with that. It kind of makes it difficult to meet in person. But again, we're able to get this out, as Lisa said, with the district website and with email and every other which way. We're able to share this information out and then get more involvement, get people a greater awareness, and try to, you know, bridge the gap between the things that are going on in the various buildings and the community as a whole. So more people hopefully can participate in things like the event that food services put on, and things like the career fair that took place here the last week, which was tremendously received. So there's a lot of good things going on, and that is part of our mission, is to help communicate those things to the greater good of the community. But, you know, there are also tasks and objectives that we want to take on that are led by you folks. So this is just the scratching of the surface, and there'll be a lot more to come. And I ask that, you know, you guys keep in touch and follow up with the ideas and the emails and the filling out of the forms, because that's really the most effective way. We could spend the whole meeting just going through and listening to each individual person, but I think we can consolidate that down and maximize our time better through the use of technology. So I want to open it up one last time. I don't want people to be shy. If you're not comfortable again with speaking to everybody, you could keep your camera off. You could type into the chat, but I just want to, you know, build a community with our group, and you know, thank everybody for helping us kick off and for being patient with the technology glitch that I'll definitely rectify for next time, and look for those future emails. So I'm just scanning the room one last time. I don't know, Jenna, you're
Hey.
unmuted, but I don't know if you're saying something.
Dave, it's
Yep,
Michelle.
Yep.
I would like to say one last thing, that I would just like to thank Lisa for all of her incredible help, and anyone else that helped. I know it was a ridiculous undertaking to go through everything in order to get the free lunch thing happening that we got as of Friday. And I would just like to personally thank you, Lisa, for all of that work. And like I said, anyone else that went through that. I know Kathy told us that it was just incredible to do all of that, and we like made it by the skin of our teeth. And I know that there's a lot of people that are going to benefit from that. So thank you so much. That was really amazing. And I know a lot of the board members, they also felt the same way that I did. So thank you, because that's incredible. That's really great. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's it. That's all I have. So
Michelle,
thank you.
you're getting 2 gold stars, 2 virtual gold stars today for your participation. Thank you very much.
You don't ever worry. I'm never scared to talk.
Well, we're happy to have, you know, I can't stand the sound of my own voice, so thank you. All right, anybody else? All right, everybody, till next time, but there'll be more in between. So please stay in touch, and it's never too late to join. So if you know someone in the community, whether it's the direct North County community or somebody out in the outskirts of the school, please let them know and we'd be happy to have more involvement. So thank you so much and we'll talk to you soon.